The day Ethan Cole walked out of the United States Army, he had three things: a Purple Heart medal in a small velvet box, a daughter he hadn't seen in 14 months.
The day Ethan Cole walked out of the United States Army, he had three things:
31 years old.
Purple Heart, a daughter he hadn't seen in 14 months, and a folder of rejection letters so thick it needed a rubber band.
He was 31 years old, and not a single employer in Chicago. Nobody tells you that coming home is its own kind of
war. They give you a
war.
ceremony. They shake your hand. They say asterisk thank you for your
They
service
hand you a
with the
folder of
particular
resources
tone of people who mean
and
it,
send you
but have
back
no
into a
idea
world
what
that
the
kept
service
moving
actually
while you were
cost.
gone.
They hand you a folder of resources A circumflex
He came back
euros,
the second time
hotlines,
to an apartment that
VA
was mostly
offices,
empty.
transition programs A circumflex euros, and they send you back into a world
He
that
had been
kept
gone
moving
4
while you were
years
gone.
total.
Ethan Cole had been gone for 4 years total. 2 deployments, each 14 months. A brief window at home between them that was supposed to
He
be
had
recovery,
buried 3
but felt
men
more
he
like
called
standing in a
brothers.
hallway between 2 rooms you didn't belong in. He came back the second time to an
He
apartment
came
that
back
was
to an
mostly
apartment
empty.
that was mostly
His wife,
empty.
Kara, had left 8 months into the second deployment.
I
She
tried.
hadn't done it cruelly. She'd sent a
waited.
letter A circumflex euros,
I'm sorry.
an actual letter, handwritten A circumflex euros, explaining
He made
that
a
she had
spreadsheet.
tried, that she had waited,
He
that she
researched
loved him,
companies.
that she could not keep living
He tailored
in the specific
each cover
terror of
letter.
a military spouse, that she was
He
sorry,
was,
that
on
she hoped
paper,
he would
an
understand
exceptional
someday.
candidate.
He did understand. That was almost the worst part. Their daughter, Maya,
This position
was 4
requires
years
a
old.
certain level of
Kara had taken
gravitas.
her to her mother's
Looking
house
at your
in
background,
Indiana,
I
while
have
the
to
legal
wonder if you truly
situation
understand
sorted
what that
itself out.
means.
Ethan had no permanent address.
No.
Kara had a stable home and a job and a custody
Do you?
lawyer. The family court did what family courts do when one parent has a home and the other has a duffel bag A circumflex
0
euros.
offers.
They gave temporary custody to the parent with the home.
He was sleeping on a
Temporary,
cot
they
at the
said.
Chicago
Ethan
Veterans
told
Resource
himself,
Center.
temporary.
He was
He said it
profoundly
every
grateful
morning
for
like a
it.
prayer.
He was profoundly
Temporary,
desperate to leave.
temporary,
The
temp-
folder started
started
with 12 applications.
Ethan was methodical about it A circumflex euros, the same methodical precision
tailored
he'd applied
each
to
cover
everything
letter.
in the Army. He made a spreadsheet. He researched companies. He tailored each cover letter. He listed his skills honestly: logistics coordination, team leadership, crisis management, strategic planning under pressure, the ability to make rapid decisions.
The recruiter
with
said,
incomplete
"We'll be in
information
touch."
life or death situations. He
They were
was,
not
on
in
paper,
touch.
an exceptional candidate. The first 4 companies didn't respond at all. The 5th sent a form rejection within 48 hours A circumflex
The
euros.
7th interview
Faster
was
than
in
any
person.
human could have read his application. An algorithm had filtered it out. He didn't know why. The 6th called
Concerns
him for a phone
about
screen.
reintegrating.
It went well. The recruiter said, "We'll be in touch." They were not in touch. The 7th interview was in person A circumflex
He did not get that
euros,
job.
a logistics firm downtown. He wore the one suit he owned, pressed carefully. He answered every question clearly and
By the
directly.
time the folder
At the
needed
end,
a
the
rubber
interviewer, A
band,
circumflex
he had
euros,
applied to
a
41
man in his
positions.
late 40s who had never served A circumflex
41.
euros, leaned back in his chair and said, "I see you have a gap here. 2 years, then another gap. What were you doing?"
He sent it
"I was
anyway.
deployed," Ethan said. "United States Army, 2 tour." The man nodded slowly. "And do you have any concerns about A circumflex euros? How do I put this A circumflex euros? Reintegrating into a civilian work environment. After what you've been through." Ethan looked at him steadily. "No,"
He had
said.
61
"Do you?"
days left.
He did not get that job. By the time the folder needed a rubber band, he had applied to
He did
41
not
positions.
decide that where he
41.
was
He had
was
received
where he
3
would stay.
interviews, 0 offers. He was sleeping on a cot at the Chicago Veterans Resource Center A circumflex euros, a clean, well-run facility that he was profound. He called her every Sunday
Okay,
at
so
10
this
a.m.
one right
Kara's
here
mother,
is the
Linda, would hold
Tyrannosaurus
the phone
Rex.
and Maya
It
would
had the
appear on
strongest
screen,
bite
A
force of
circumflex
any
euros.
land animal
4
ever.
years old.
They were
then 4.5
ferocious predators,
dark
but
eyes
honestly,
exactly
their
like
arms were
his,
basically
currently
useless for
obsessed with
hygiene.
dinosaurs
Useless
and the
for
color
hygiene.
orange.
That is so
Daddy,
good.
did you know a T-Rex
I feel
couldn't reach
bad
its
for
own
them.
face?
They
She
can't
told
reach
him
their
one
own
Sunday,
faces.
with the gravity of someone reporting
You're the
a
kindest
national
person I know,
emergency.
Maya.
"I did not know that," he said. "It's very sad," she said seriously. "I feel bad for them." He laughed A circumflex euros, really laughed.
He
The
had
kind that
90
came from
days to
somewhere
build a
deep.
life from
"You're the
0.
kindest person I know, Maya." She thought about this. "I know," she said, and went back to her
Temporary,
dinosaur
he
book.
said.
He sat with the
He
phone
said it
for a
every
long
morning
time
like a
after
prayer.
She left the screen. Linda had said, gently but clearly. She asks about you every day. She's not confused about who you are, but she needs a home. She needs consistent. He understood, consistent, a home. A life that looked from the outside. The Veterans Resource Center had a commercial kitchen that sat unused most mornings. Ethan had started using it at 5 a.m. a circumflex euros. Before anyone else was awake a circumflex euros. Not because he had anywhere to be.
Cooking was the one thing that quieted his mind.
In the Army, there had always been noise. Engines, orders, the particular heightened alertness that never fully turned off even in sleep. Cooking required the same focus, but gave back something instead of taking it. He made breakfast for the other residents. Not because anyone asked him to. Just because the kitchen was there, and the food was there, and the men and women eating cereal alone at 6 a.m. looked like
you
people
carry a
who
heavy
do
load,
something
Ethan.
warm. The
I see it in
center's
your
director,
eyes.
a woman
So do
named
you,
Patricia
Patricia.
Chen, who had run
We
the
both
facility
learned to
for
keep
11
going.
years, and had the calm authority of someone who had seen everything twice, noticed on the third morning. She watched from the doorway as Ethan moved around the kitchen a circumflex euros,
Feed people.
efficient, precise, completely at
Specifically
ease.
people
6
who need
portions
it.
of eggs, toast, fruit cut carefully, everything timed so it arrived
Come to my
warm.
office at 9.
She said nothing that morning. On the fourth morning, she came in and poured herself coffee and said, "Where did you learn to cook?" "My grandmother," he said. She said, "A man who can't feed himself, can't take care of anyone else." Patricia nodded slowly. "She sounds like someone I would have liked." "She would have liked you too," he said. She had no patience for people who weren't direct. Patricia smiled. "I
You've
have
been
a
sitting on
question,
this for
and
3
I want you to
years.
answer it honestly."
I was waiting
All
for the right person.
If you could do anything a circumflex euros, not what you think you should do, not what pays the most a circumflex euros, what would you actually do? Ethan was quiet for a moment. This, he said simply, gesturing at the kitchen. Feed
What
people,
happened in those
specifically
58
Patricia
days
Chen had,
can't be
over
fully
11
told.
years, developed
He called his
relationships
army
with
buddy
every
Darnell.
food-related nonprofit, community organization,
We need to finalize
and
the price
social
per head
enterprise
and
in
account for
Chicago's
vendor
South
overhead.
Side. She had also,
Pay
over
attention
11
to the
years,
crust.
watched
You want
veteran
clean
after veteran
lines,
fall through the
minimal
gaps between
crumbling.
military skill
That shows
and
respect
civilian
for the
opportunity
ingredients.
a circumflex
A little
euros.
firmer right
Not
there.
because they
Yes,
lacked ability,
just like
but
that.
because no one had built
Keep it
the right
even
bridge.
all the way
She had been
around.
thinking about a specific bridge for 3 years.
He introduced himself
catering
as
social
Marcus Webb,
enterprise A
working on
circumflex euros,
correction head,
run out of
Ethan
the
Cole,
resource center's
working on a
commercial
document
kitchen, a
security
circumflex
solution.
euros, that would train veterans in
He landed the
culinary and
first
business
catering
skills,
contract on
cater
day
events for
19.
local organizations at competitive prices, and use the revenue
Execution
to fund
phase is a
operations.
go. I need
Employment
those
for
vegetables
veterans,
plated now
food for
and watch the
community
steam on
events,
those pots.
a model
Keep
that
it
could
moving,
eventually
gentlemen.
scale.
Timing is critical.
She had the kitchen. She had the nonprofit structure. She had the relationships. She had never had the right person. She slid a 3-page proposal across her desk to Ethan.
Yes, that
He
timing
read it
works
without
perfectly.
speaking.
Thank
He
you
read
for
it the way he
confirming,
read
and I'll send the
everything a
contract over
circumflex
shortly.
euros, carefully, completely, without skipping.
By day 40,
When he finished,
they had
he
4
looked up.
contracts.
"You've been sitting on this for 3 years," he said. "I was waiting for the right person," she said.
He
"I
had
don't
a
have
salary,
culinary degree," he
modest,
said, or
but
a business
real,
degree, or any degree
documented,
that's relevant to
official,
this. "I know,"
official.
she said. "I also
He had a
only fed
lease.
12 people this morning with $30 of food, and they all came back for seconds. And I know you kept a logistics operation running under
One with a
enemy
window
fire
that
for
faced
14
a small
months."
courtyard.
She paused.
The
"I think
quechu,
we can work with that."
the kind of
He
window a
looked at the
child
proposal
might
again.
like.
"The custody hearing is in 58
Then he
days,"
got up
he said.
and went
"I
back
know,"
to work.
she said. "Which is why we're starting Monday." What happened in those 58 days is the part of this story that can't be fully told a circumflex euros. Not because it isn't known, but because the real substance of it lived in the hours between
He came with
midnight
the
and
lease,
5 a.m. When
the
Ethan
employment
sat at the Resource
agreement,
Center's small desk
the
refining
catering
menus,
contracts,
costing recipes, writing a business plan he'd never been trained to write. He called his army buddy Darnell a circumflex euros, now a restaurant manager in Atlanta a circumflex euros, at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. "I need to know how to price a catering menu." Darnell laughed. Then he talked for 2 hours. He called his grandmother's oldest friend, Miss Elaine, who had catered church events in Chicago for 30 years. She drove to the Resource Center on a Saturday morning.
The
and
family
stood
court
beside him in
hearing
the kitchen
lasted
for 4
45
hours,
minutes.
teaching him things that no culinary school had written down. He landed the first catering contract on day 19 a circumflex euros, a nonprofit annual dinner, 80
Can you
guests.
verify the
He did it
deposit
alone,
listed on
with
page
Patricia
3 of the bank
coordinating
statements?
logistics and 2
Yes,
other
that
resource
is
center
correct.
residents he'd recruited and trained in
This
2
is what I
weeks.
did.
The event director called
This is
Patricia
what I
the
built.
following Monday.
This
"Who
is
is
who
that
I
man?"
am.
She said. "I need him for our spring gala." By day 40, they had 4 contracts. By day 55, Ethan Cole had a signed employment agreement as Director of Operations.
Joint
for what
custody
Patricia
is
was
granted.
formally incorporating
Primary
as
residence
*Vet
with
Table
the
A
father.
Circumflex Euros, a veteran-staffed culinary social enterprise. He had a salary, modest but real, documented, official. He had a lease on a small 2-bedroom apartment 3 blocks from the resource center, signed on day 52. He stood in the empty apartment on the afternoon he got the keys. 2 bedrooms, 1 for him. One with a window that faced the family court hearing lasted 45 minutes. Ethan came with Patricia A. Circumflex Euros, who had written a letter describing his role, his reliability, his character with the directness of someone who did not use words casually. He came with Darnell on the phone, ready to speak if needed. He came with the lease, the employment agreement, the catering contracts, the bank statement showing 3 weeks of direct deposits. He came with the folder A Circumflex Euros, the one with the rubber band, now stuffed with rejection letters. He brought it not to show the court, but to remind himself. He had earned every document in his other folder the hard way, through every door that had closed before one finally opened. The judge reviewed the documents, asked several questions. Ethan answered each one directly, without performance, without plea. At the end, the judge looked at him over her glasses.
You painted it orange.
"Mr. Cole,"
I did.
she said.
How
"The court
did you
finds
know?
that you have
You
demonstrated
told me.
stable housing,
About 100
verifiable
times.
employment, and consistent engagement with your daughter throughout this period." She paused. "Temporary custody is hereby modified. Joint custody is granted, primary residence with the father during school months, with agreed visitation for the mother." Ethan heard the words. He sat completely still. Patricia put her hand briefly on his arm.
Did you
He
know
nodded
some
once.
dinosaurs
To the
were
judge,
really
to
good
Patricia, to no one in
parents?
particular. "Thank you." She arrived on a Saturday morning in September.
3 years later,
Kara
Vet
drove
Table
her from
operates
Indiana.
out of 2
They had
commercial
reached A
kitchens in
Circumflex
Chicago.
Euros over the 58 days, and the
It
weeks
has
after A
catered over
Circumflex Euros,
400
a
events.
quiet, careful truce that was not friendship, but was something more sustainable. 2
How can we
parents
leverage
who
these
loved the same
partnerships more
child
effectively?
and were
I
willing
think
to be
focusing on the
adults about
mentorship
it.
aspect is
Maya
key.
came through
Yes,
the
and we need to
apartment
ensure the
door
mind
with a
maturity
backpack
component is
covered in
central to
dinosaur
that.
patches, her
He
dark
kept the
eyes
folder.
taking everything in. She walked through the small living room. The kitchen stopped at the door of her bedroom. Ethan had painted it orange A Circumflex Euros, her favorite color A Circumflex Euros, over 2 nights the week before. There was a bookshelf with dinosaur
And that is why
books,
I
a
believe
small desk,
this
a
discovery
window
changes
facing the
everything
courtyard.
we thought
Maya
we
stood in
knew
the doorway
about
for
the
a long
subject.
moment. Then she turned
That
around
feeling,
and
that
looked at her
isolation
father.
you carry,
"You
it
painted
doesn't have
orange,"
to
she
define
said.
you.
"I did,"
There's a
he
future
said.
waiting,
"How did you know
and you
orange
are
was my
ready
favorite?"
for it.
"You told me," he said, "about
A little
100
girl
times."
who told
She
me
looked at the room
dinosaur
again,
facts,
then at him. Then
like
she
they
walked
were
to him and put her
classified
arms around his
intelligence.
waist A Circumflex Euros.
You keep moving
She was
anyway.
almost 5 now, her head reaching his ribs A Circumflex Euros, and she held on. He held on too. Neither
None of
them
this would
said
have been
anything for a
possible without
long
the
time.
guidance and
He
support I
pressed his
received
face to the
early
top of her
on.
head and breathed.
I am
His
eternally
daughter,
grateful for
his
that
home.
chance.
The thing that had kept him moving through 41 rejections and 58 days, and every morning on a cot in a place that wasn't his. "Daddy," Maya said, voice muffled against his shirt. "Yeah. Did you know that some dinosaurs were actually really good parents?" He laughed, full and real. "I did not know that." Epilogue, Vet Table. 3 years later, Vet Table operates out of 2 commercial kitchens in Chicago and has trained and employed 61 veterans. It has catered over 400 events. It has never missed one. Ethan Cole carries the Purple Heart in his jacket pocket. Not for show A Circumflex Euros, he never shows it. Just because it is his and it belongs with him.
What the
And some
orange
things you
room was a
carry not
promise
as a
of,
burden, but as a reminder
now
of what you
fully
survived.
real.
He speaks sometimes A Circumflex Euros, at VA events, at veteran transition programs.
The bravest
at the
thing Ethan
occasional
Cole
business
ever
conference
did
that invites him.
wasn't in
Because Vet Table
Afghanistan.
has become the kind of success
It was the 42nd
story people want to
application,
learn from. He always
when he
says the
already knew
same
what
thing when
rejection
people
felt
ask him
like.
what kept him going.
And he sent it
I had a
anyway.
Sunday phone call
When I
at
first got
10
out, I
a.m.
felt
every
completely
week.
lost.
A little girl who
Yeah,
told me
but
dinosaur facts
being
like
here,
they were
talking about
classified
it,
intelligence.
it helps.
You keep moving for the people who
getting
are
hot.
waiting for you. He pauses. And you keep moving for yourself too, not because the world makes it easy. It doesn't. It will shut doors in your face and question your
Temporary
stability,
is only
and look
permanent
at everything you
if you let it
sacrificed
be.
and ask you to justify it. You keep moving anyway, because
All
temporary
right, let's keep
is
this
only
pace up.
permanent if
I
you
need
let it
3
be.
more trays
Maya
prepped
is
for
7
station
now.
2,
She has
and check the
decided she wants
temperature
to
on
be
those
a
ovens.
paleontologist and also a chef, and sees absolutely no conflict between these two goals. On Saturday mornings, she stands on a step stool beside her father in their kitchen.
Some
She is
soldiers
learning
come
to make
home
her
to parades.
great-great-grandmother's biscuits.
The bravest
She is
thing he
already
ever
very
did
good at
was
it.
the
Some
40-second
soldiers come home
application.
to parades. Some come home to empty apartments and rubber-banded folders and clocks counting down. The bravest thing Ethan Cole ever did wasn't in Afghanistan. It was the 40-second application.